Hey there, it's Toasty Fresh. I'm back with another collections update video, just charting my journey into collecting various video games and consoles and things like that. And this time out it's going to be purely PS2 exclusive. I've got quite a few games to go through, and also you might have noticed a bit of a change of scenery. I'm in the living room now because the bedroom's back upstairs now. We did have the bedroom downstairs in what was usually the dining room, but back upstairs now, so my gaming videos and things like that are now into the living room, and they don't look too bad. I've been messing around, like I've got a lamp there, like I'm getting interrogated by the FBI and things like that, just without the pliers and teeth coming out and waterboarding. But anyway, without further ado, it's time to get on with showing you what I've collected. And first of all, it's going to be a game that I already have, but I went out and bought it again because I managed to get it complete, and that is Canem Edit, aka The Bully, for anyone who's American watching. And that was only 99p, and I picked that up because it was absolutely complete. It has the instruction booklet, and it has the poster / map in there, and it even has the registration thing that came with the game, so more or less fully complete. And this is a game that is absolutely amazing. I played it just over a year ago, and I can't recommend it highly enough, to be honest. It's probably one of the finest games that was actually brought out for the PS2, and probably one of the finest ones made by Rockstars actually. And I can't believe it took me that long to actually go out and play it. But if you've never played it, it is really, really good. It's kind of same kind of controls as Grand Theft Auto, but instead you're a schoolboy who's been sent to a grammar school kind of thing, boarding school. And it loses nothing for the fact that it's schoolboy weapons, like you've got a slingshot and stink bombs and a bottle rocket launcher and things like that, and a spud gun. It loses absolutely nothing, and maybe even is in a way better because there's a lot more people can enjoy this. And it's not totally, for kids. It is a 15, but I just found that it was a really good game, really enjoyable, and you just have to go out there and play it anyway. It's that good. And anyway, moving on to a game that I haven't bought before, and that's Destroy All Humans. And that was made by Pandemic, the guys who made the Mercenaries series, and also I forgot what it's called, Saboteur, I think it was, which was like for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 kind of generation. And that's complete, and it's a good little game. I played like the demo. I've never played the games all the way through. I played a certain amount of it, and it's kind of like you're playing the bad guy, the alien, and it's kind of like Mars Attacks, but kind of a game. That's probably if you've got a film, that's what it's kind of like, except you're a lone alien who's just got to go around preparing the Earth for invasion. And it's cool. You can do all kinds of cool stuff like fly spaceships, and you've got a stun gun, you've got a death ray, you've got man powers. Like one of the first levels involves chucking cows around with your telepathic powers and things like that, and collecting brain stems, I think, as well as one of them. I don't know if there's any probing involved, but there'll probably be something along those lines in it, some kind of joke about that. But it looks like it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to actually play that. But that's another game I picked up because I've already got the second one, so that kind of completes that one. And another game I picked up, this one was from Entertainment Exchange, and that's Mark Echo's Getting Up, and that came complete, and it only cost me £1 from Entertainment Exchange. And that's about you're a graffiti artist in kind of like a police state city that's kind of run with an iron fist, and you're trying to get your name for yourself, and he's got a little kind of gang of his own, kind of like graffiti artists, and he's trying to get himself well known. It's meant to be an alright-ish kind of game made by Atari, and The Collective, and I've never played it. It's got some celebrity kind of people like Brittany Murphy, I think, is in this, and Adam West, the old 60s Batman. He's in this as a police sergeant, so that'll probably have some comedy value to that. And another game I picked up, and it's one that I think I played a little bit of, again like a demo. That's what my collecting's all about. It's about going out and getting the things that I never played the first time around as well. So, and that was Beautiful Joe, which it does look like a beautiful game as well. It looks really good with the kind of cel shaded graphics. And this is a game that kind of had the departure from everything was 3D at the time. Things like that were moving on into 3D graphics, and this came out and it was kind of like side-scrolling 2D, and it's got the kind of cel-shaded graphics that were coming into fashion, I think, around about that time. I can't remember when this came out. Was it 2004? Yeah, so there was a kind of a few games that came out on the PlayStation 2 where cel-shading was coming in, like there was RPGs like Rogue Galaxy, and I think the newer Jake Cocoon, I can't remember if that was, and Dark Cloud 2, and you had 13, the shoot 'em up, and this was another one that was kind of great cel shading graphics, and it's meant to be rock hard. I can't really remember how much I played of this game though, but that's why I wanted to get it as well. That cost me £3, so the price crept up a little bit on that one, but a great game that I'll probably go out and play at Capcom. And I've got a few film franchises going on in this one. One of them, and this one cost me a bit of money, but I wanted to find out what it was like, and that was Predator Concrete Jungle. That cost me £4 from Entertainment Exchange. But the great thing about that is it's complete and everything like that. I'm just getting a bit distracted because I've got my little dog. We got a little dog not long ago, like a Yorkshire Terrier mix, and he just keeps popping his head in, kind of. I think he's thinking, what the hell are you doing, man, talking to yourself? But I'll carry on with the video because I've still got a few games to go through. And another one I got, which was an interesting one, Commandos Strike Force, which I'd never heard of this game, so I was interested in getting it anyway, and it only cost me 15p for some reason. They put a World Rally Championship sticker on it and scanned it through as that, and I saved a few pence because it was meant to be 85p, so I didn't really save a hell of a lot of money, but I've never heard of it. But it's kind of like a squad-based World War II game, kind of like where you got to do secret missions, and you've got the kind of demolition expert, you've got a stealth guy, sniper, and then, you know, a heavy weapons guy. And I think it's kind of a bit like Hidden and Dangerous for the PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast, that kind of game. So it looks like it might be actually not too bad, to be honest, from the look of it. Kind of Medal of Honor kind of thing, but more on the stealth, like I said, more Hidden and Dangerous. I don't even know who made that one. Eidos and Renderware, I think it was, or maybe, I don't know, or there's someone called Pyro, but I've never heard of them before. And a game I've got that's a sequel to another game I've got, and that's Smugglers Run 2, Hostile Territory. And this, I remember playing the first one a lot, and it wasn't too bad. It's kind of like an all-terrain kind of game, so like you kind of, I think there was a game called Total Driving, but that was more like a traditional racer. This is kind of like open world, that kind of thing, where you got off-road vehicles, and basically you're smuggling goods into like America. Like the first one, it was the Canadian-American border, and I think the Mexican-American border. This one, I don't know if there's different borders involved and different terrains. But I've never played this one, so I don't know. I've only played the first one. The only bad thing about that was it was a bit samey, like the missions were a bit the same once you got into the game, from what I remembered. I mean, it was fun to have a few acts of like animal cruelty where you were knocking deers over and things like that. And don't say you didn't if you played that game, because you know you did. You know you tried seeing how far you could knock some deers over the map. Eventually they do get up though. Nothing ever died, I don't think, in the game. And that is another Rockstar game as well to my collection, so I've got quite a few Rockstar games now. But moving on, I got a Midway game, and that's Area 51, which has got a pretty strong boast there from PlayStation 2 magazine, saying this could be the PlayStation 2's best first-person shooter ever. So it is a first-person shooter. I was looking at the back thinking, is it first-person or is it third? But it is. That's kind of, you're playing as a squad of like a SWAT or an army squad that's sent into Area 51 because some of the aliens have gotten loose and are causing havoc. Basically, it's about you blasting a load of aliens with a squad. So it could be a pretty good game, and it's got good ratings and things like that. So I'll probably have to give that a try. That again, that only cost £1. Smugglers Run only cost £1 as well. So some of these are really cheap games. That's why I like collecting for the PlayStation 2, because it's just so cheap to pick some games up for that, you know, they're just dirt cheap. And I know now I'm never going to run out of games to play. And as soon as it's coming up to Halloween, why not put in a Halloween kind of theme series, and that's Resident Evil Dead Aim. The only downside is I do have a G-Con 2. This is a light gun game, but it was complete. I don't have the little yellow thing that had to go. There's like a little yellow connector thing that goes on the SCART. That's missing. Plus, I don't have a CRT screen, television, or anything like that to play the light gun games on. So it's kind of a bit redundant at the moment. And really, my house, I don't think we've got enough room to set up another TV somewhere to justify really having one. I think I do have one actually, but it's just so tiny. I don't think it'd really work for light gun games. It's like a 14-inch television, like a DVD TV combo. But it's there for if I ever do manage to get some space one time. You know, it is there for the collection. Again, going on with the film franchises though, once again, I got From Russia with Love for £1. So I was always intrigued by this game. I remember reading, like in the official PlayStation magazine, I think it was, and Play or whatever, like about this game when it came out, and them saying it's a really good, like a return to form for the James Bond games. And it's set on, obviously, the classic Sean Connery James Bond, and I love the cover to that as well. It's got a really like stylish kind of old film movie poster front cover to it. I don't know if Sean, I think it says starring Sean Connery. I don't know if it actually got his voice in it. I'm not too sure. But yeah, there's that. And it does look pretty good, and you know, you can drive on jetpacks, things like that. And from a bit of an older movie, it's something a bit different as well, because usually with the games that came out, they were kind of just movie cash-ins for the game that came out at the time. I know there was some, like Everything and Nothing, that wasn't, it was his own story, but it was cool for him to go back and do an older film as well. And then moving on to another movie icon, I got the first Rocky game, and that was only £1 as well, so I had to pick that up because I have the second one as well, but it would, I thought, why not go out and get the first one as well and play it. I can't really remember playing this one, but they were pretty decent boxing games in all fairness, and they're pretty fun to play. You get like the little training games to train Rocky up. You know, you start from the bottom and work your way up. And I think I know one of them was chasing chickens, and you got punching the punch bag. I don't know if there's punching the meat. I mean, it should be in there somewhere because it's a pretty iconic scene from the films. And I mean, it could just go through all the films. I didn't know whether this one did, but it does, because I can see Ivan Drago there, and Clubber Lang's on the front actually. Yeah, all three of the main opponents he had in the films are there. So that's a game I probably will try out at some point. I've actually not played a boxing one for a while. And then moving on to a film franchise again that I love. It's one that's probably one of my favourites of all time. That's Star Wars, and I got Star Wars Battlefront. It's becoming a classic game now, and that's Pandemic as well. The Pandemic made some quite cool games actually for the PlayStation 2. And I can't remember which one I had, to be honest. I had one of these originally as well, that was complete, and I can't remember for the life of me how much this cost. I got a 3 for 2 on it there, so I think I did get it from a stall in Blackburn somewhere. But I can't remember for the life of me. I think it was £2 something, maybe £2.99 maybe. But yeah, that's cool. And I remember playing it, and they were pretty cool. I mean, it was like the PlayStation's answer to the Rogue Squadron on the N64. having that kind of experience. I mean, they did have Starfighter, and I remember playing that. I've got that game as well. I've got the original Star Wars Starfighter. I haven't picked up the Jedi one yet. But this one, you know, you could be on the ground and everything like that. And it was quite groundbreaking at the time. I wasn't absolutely blown away with it like a lot of people were. But it was still a pretty sweet game, in all fairness. And now I've got 1 and 2. And another game I've always wanted to try out as well, and that was Star Wars Bounty Hunter, where you played as a badass bounty hunter, Jango Fett, Boba Fett's dad. And that's always a bonus. And that was complete, and that came from a little stall kind of shop in a local town near to where I used to live, and I grew up, and it's been there for years. The same people owning it and everything like that, and it's been kind of like an indoor market, and it's been there for years. I used to buy all PlayStation 1 games from them and things like that, and maybe even some SNES games and things like that. That's how long they've been there for. And I picked up 3 for $5, and that was one of them. And the next game is another one on the 3 for $5. The third game's in the next pile that I'll do on the next video. And the next one was Chaos Legion, an RPG by Capcom, and it's kind of, I think it's about some kind of demons or something, and you can call for different demons to battle. I think it's kind of like in your place, I think, kind of like the Final Fantasy X summons. I'm not too sure though, so I won't hold me to that one, because I've never played this game yet. You play a guy called Sieg Warheit, sounds like an epic name, and he's got this weird kind of manga hairdo, but it's kind of like a transsexual wig which he's put on his head, but it's not on the top of his head. It's like someone's stuck it on his face there, kind of like he's put a wig on in the dark. The woman looks kind of normal, she looks more normal, but I don't know about him, he looks kind of strange looking, but some of the things do look kind of cool. Not too sure about the hair, but I'll have to test that game out. Again, I don't know if I showed you, it is complete, but I will have to give that game a try out. I can't remember if I've tried too many Capcom RPGs, and this is what usually I do a game of the video, what's going to be my favourite, you know, what I'm looking forward to the most, or what I think is the pick of the games that I've got. And I'm going to have to go with this one, I think, the last video, and that's Shadow Hearts from the New World, which I've never played any of these. I can't remember, I know there's quite a few of these, I don't know which one this is in the series. I don't know if it's number 4, it could be number 5 though. And I can't remember exactly how far back these go. I don't know if they started on the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 1. Like I said, this is a series that I've not really had too much of a look at. But it does look kind of cool though. It looks like, you know, the Final Fantasy kind of game. It does look very Final Fantasy-like with the main characters and everything. And but again, this is something I'm not really that sure on, but I picked it up. That cost me £8. But if I see an RPG that I don't have and it's not ridiculous money, or like £20 odd, if it's 10 and under, I will usually pick it up, because RPGs aren't going to get any cheaper, I don't think. So if you can pick them up for a decentish price, you're best off doing it now rather than later, because a lot of games that I have now, they're doing Entertainment Exchange and other shops like that, the prices have welcome back, sorry about that. I just had a bit of a failure there with the my phone's running out of battery, so I'm going to have to make this brief. But basically, that's it. It just cut off just as I was coming to the end of the video. And I'd just like to say thank you for watching, if anybody has. It's something that I really enjoy, getting myself out there and doing videos like this, and you know, sharing the kind of things that I've bought and things like that. But if anyone likes to contribute, that's something that I'd really love for you to do. Like I said, games of the video this time, Shadow Hearts, and I'd probably say, as well as that, I'd probably say, which might be a weird one for you guys, I'm going to say Predator Concrete Jungle, just because I want to see how good or bad it is, and it must be epic. I mean, it can't be all bad. I mean, you get to be Predator, stand on a rooftop, holding a skull aloft, impaling people with spears and things. So, you know, how can it be bad? So those two are kind of my picks for this video. But if you liked any of the videos, don't be sure to comment or things like that. Or you think, you know, any other games that I might like to play, or you got any thoughts on Shadowheart or the sequels, or any other games that you looked at and think, you know, I might like the look of, you know, or anything basically what you've been collecting recently, or what kind of console have you been big into collecting. At the minute for me, for price reasons and things like that, it's been the PlayStation 2 and some of the PlayStation 1 and original Xboxes. But what have you been big up on collecting, or are you collecting for new consoles, or have you gone back like me? I've sort of gone back and gone more on the old stuff. But it'd be interesting to see what you've been up to and what you liked in the video and things like that. But that's all I got time for. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll catch you next time.